Hello, Angie Gerber here, and welcome to my podcast, Awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow. A place you can come to start thinking and shifting your thoughts to finally create the results you truly, truly desire. It'll shift your mindset and give you strategies to get out there and get it done. Let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about self-image. It's one of the first things, again, in my journey that I found out very quickly. You truly cannot outperform or outrun your self-image. So what is it you think first thing when you wake up in the morning? Is it about everything you're going to conquer today and you're going to get done with excitement? You can't wait for your feet to hit the ground running. You found your I get to, I don't have to. Or is it like most people where you wake up and you start thinking about what happened yesterday that went wrong, or all the things you have to do today, and you go right into worry and anxiety, maybe even cause a little bit of fear. And then you put your feet on the ground, you get up, you go to the mirror, and you look in the mirror. And what do you think to yourself? Do you think, wow, gosh, I am so beautiful, I am so worthy, I'm going to go out and get it today and get mine, and, all the positive things that you could do to start your day? Or do you do what most women do and look and be like, oh, God, the bags under my eyes, it looks like I didn't get any sleep, or, oh, I have a little breakout, or looking at yourself and thinking, my boobs are too small, my boobs are too big, my butt is too small, my butt is too big, I have big thighs, I'm this, I'm that. And all the negative thoughts and feelings that we tend to focus on. Instead of focusing on what you wish you would have or what you don't have, look in the mirror every morning and find something that you love about yourself. Find something that you think is just amazing. And start telling yourself every morning how worthy you are. Because truly, 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 we cannot outperform our self-image. So if you look at your results right now, it's a direct reflection of what you're thinking, and much of that is tied to your self-image. Are you worthy? And is your goal worthy of you? I talk a lot with my clients about starting from where you're at. You don't have to go from 0 to 100. You don't have to make the quantum leaps quite yet. We will get into quantum leaps down the road. But for now, I encourage you to start where you're at. Really just look for that 1% improvement a day. What could you do today that would take you 1% closer to your goal, or 1% more than you were yesterday? Is it educating yourself? Is it reading something? Is it reaching out and leaving someone with the impression of increase that you run into on the street? 80% of our thoughts every day are negative, and we have over 60,000 thoughts a day. I'm going to say that again. 80% of our thoughts every day are negative, and we have over 60,000 thoughts a day. If you could just start shifting that 1%, and then 5%, and then 10%, and become very aware of your thoughts, and knowing that your attitude is the key mixture of your thoughts, which create your feelings, and your feelings create your action. So attitude is another key to really getting up and conquering your day. So think about this. Again, when you wake up in the morning, be aware of what you're thinking. Be aware of how you're starting your day. Be aware when you're getting triggered, or if you have these negative thoughts. What can you do in that moment to stop? Be aware, refocus, readjust, pivot, and really make a conscious decision, not today, or I'm not going to let that thought be my thought right now. I'm going to think the polar opposite. So when you have a negative thought, think the polar opposite. And like I talked about before, when something bad happens or something, happens that, again, triggers you or gets you a little bit off kilter, stop and say good and find the good in it. What we need in life is we need contrast. Because if you don't know what you don't want, then you won't know what you do want. So you truly need contrast in order to create the life you desire. The other thing you can do is really start looking at the environment around you. It's said that we're the sum of the 5 people we hang around the most. So who are the people that you interact with the most in a day? What are they saying? Where are they at in life? What are their goals, dreams, ambitions, and desires? If there's something that you want to do and you want to do well or you want to achieve, I would very highly recommend going and finding a person that is doing what you want to do or has already done and accomplished what you intend to accomplish. If you're asking your neighbor or your sister or your brother or your best friend their opinion, it's just an opinion because if they haven't done what you intend to do or want to do, then what they say really doesn't hold a lot of merit for you going out and getting done what it is you intend to do. So what is your goal? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What environment are you in? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you consuming? Again, when I started this journey, there are some people in my family, in my life that are negative, and that's just who they are by nature. And I said, how am I supposed to cut them out of my life? I mean, what does that look like? And Bob Proctor, my coach at the time, he said, what you do is you obviously don't cut out the ones you love, your family, from your life. But he said, don't go as often and don't stay as long. So definitely still go, still have the conversations. And when they say something that, you don't agree with or want to get you down that road where, they're triggering or they're wanting to get into that argument or that debate, just say that's interesting and change the subject. And really be aware of what you're letting in through, again, what you're watching, what you're reading. What can you do differently today to shift what you show up and usually do every day through habitual habits that can put you on that 1% track of getting better each day? And I have a couple exercises as well. All of the coaches that I have hired, especially the ones from Proctor Gallagher Institute, auto-suggestion is one of the first things that they started to do that really made the shift for them. And auto-suggestion is when you take a positive affirmation and you say it out loud 5 minutes straight. If you can do it 10 minutes straight, a couple times a day, at least in the morning and in the evening, if not during the day as well, where you find your goal. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have all the confidence and more that I need in order to achieve my desire and my goal. And really make this whatever your desirous goal is. Insert it. Say with passion, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and state your goal. And if you notice, never cap your goal. Always say or more or better at a minimum. Make sure that your goal is open-ended so it's never capped and you're always going to allow more in or better. If you cap it, then you're stopping the power. Absolutely. So auto-suggestion. I actually have a tattoo on my arm that says, I'm so happy and grateful now that ... to remind me, because that is what changed everything for me. Again, it goes back to gratitude. Everything starts with gratitude. So through auto-suggestion with positive affirmations, Truly start reprogramming your subconscious, and that can only be done through repetition. You have to start getting rid of what no longer serves you, the programming that was put there by the time you were 7 years old by people that meant well, and yet probably years and years and years later no longer serves you. Another way you can do this is through the mirror exercise. So what you do is you look at yourself in the mirror, and in your right eye, looking in your right eye, say your positive affirmation 5 times. Or you could say a simple one: I am worthy of my goal. I am so confident that XYZ. And really connect it to you and say that 5 times while looking in your right eye, and then switch over to the left eye and say your positive affirmation 5 times in your left eye. Your eyes are the gateway to your soul. And at first, I'm telling you, at least for me, it was really uncomfortable because we look at ourselves, but we don't look at ourselves. When you look in the mirror, you're just scanning. You're just looking. And have you ever really looked in your eye and said something beautiful to yourself? I'm telling you, it's uncomfortable at first, and then it becomes a power that you will not miss doing one day. The other thing would be journaling. You know, a lot of people, I don't like to journal, I don't like to write. Well, pen to paper is one of the strongest ways to also get into your subconscious, and through writing things over and over and through the repetition, beautiful things happen. I write my goal out every day 50 times. Is it a pain sometimes? Absolutely. Sometimes I don't get it all done in the morning, but before my head hits that pillow at night, you can guarantee that I have written my goal out 50 times. Sometimes it takes me 45 minutes. Sometimes it takes me an hour and a half, depending if I'm sitting and really connecting with my goal every time I write it. The other thing would be to record yourself. You know, again, what does your goal look like in a year? I'm so happy and grateful now that I have the home, I have the vacation, I have the health, I have the relationship, I have whatever it is for you. And say it with conviction and power as if it's already done here and now. And connect to it. And listen to that every morning when you wake up, when you're driving, at night before you go to bed. I used to just aimlessly listen to the radio. And, you know, and then Bob had mentioned, you know, when you're watching TV and you're watching these actors, or you're listening to the radio and you're listening to these people who are doing their job, you're listening to someone else live out their dreams and their passion and their desire. And is it really getting you any closer to yours? And I was just like, that's eye-opening. So if you really think about it, again, you can't control time. Time is what it is. Everyone's just like, oh, how do you get so much done in a day? Or how do you do this? Or I don't have enough time. I can't do this. I can't do that. That is all programming and excuses. We all get the same amount of time every day. It is what you do with your time. What activities do you put on your calendar? What activities do you just mindlessly do? Are you scrolling through social media? Are you flipping on the same show that you've watched 100 times just to have background noise so you don't have to think? So you are distracted. You know, are you just watching the news? You know, whatever it would be. Are you having the same conversations with your friends or your spouses? Are you reliving the same, you know, good or bad things that happened in the past? Or are you going to start creating a future through your thoughts instead of living in the past and having the record of the past and reliving and rethinking that thing that happened that was bad 10 years ago or 2 months ago or 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago? If you keep living from that place, that is what you're going to keep getting more of. You need to make the decision, make the choice that from here on, you're going to start exactly where you're at. And wherever you're at is perfectly okay. It's what you do from here on that you can rewrite and you can start anew and you can start writing your future through your thoughts. We all get up every morning with choice. You have the choice of how you're going to show up, what your attitude's going to be, who you're going to surround yourself with, what you're going to let into your conscious mind that will then go into your subconscious through repetition. And again, it's who you are, who you show up, and your personality that creates your personal reality. So who are you going to choose to be today? And one other thing that was weighing on my heart to talk about, there's this woman. She seems like such an amazing woman. She shows up. She has confidence in some ways. And this is at the gym I go to. And then other ways, everything is like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. She could walk by and, oh, I'm sorry. And it's just, I could count probably, I don't even know how many times I hear I'm sorry for no reason whatsoever. I mean, talk about programming and talk about just doing what you do because it's a habitual habit. So I encourage you, ladies, be sorry when you need to be sorry and apologize when you need to apologize, but don't just make it a knee gut reaction. Don't, oh, sorry. Really, really pay attention to how often you're apologizing for something that you probably should not even be apologizing for, or you don't need to apologize for. And really, again, get some awareness around that, because I see that often, and I even had worked on this a lot. I'd be typing up an email. Oh, I'm sorry, or I apologize. And I'm like, wait a minute. Do I need to be sorry or do I need to apologize? Because we just, again, show up from this place of pre-programming where that is what we think we need to say or we need to feel this way. So if you have something to be sorry for, absolutely apologize. I'm not saying, don't show up and take responsibility when necessary, but just be aware of that this week. And I'd love to, have any comments or feedback on any of this podcast or anything that I've said. I just really appreciate you showing up today and listening through this. And I hope that you've taken one or two ahas away. And I would sure love to hear anything in the comments. Thanks for spending some time with me today. And if you like what you heard, feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is you do. I'd love to get this out to as many people as possible because it truly all does start with awareness. Once you know, you cannot unknow, and it changes everything. And of course, if I can help in any way, I'm here and happy to do so. Until next time, make it a good one.